Midjourney have done it again with another really cool feature called pan. And basically, you can start off with something like this and then pan left or pan right or pan up or down, and you end up with something like this. So without further ado, let's delve into this new update from Midjourney. Let's get to it. So as I said, Midjourney have added another update. I mean, it was only, a week or so ago that they added the kind of zoom out feature. Well, now they've added pan, which basically does what it says on the can. Pan. Basically, you can create a picture, pan left, pan even further left, pan, and suddenly you can see, well, I wonder what's to the left. I wonder what's to the right. I wonder what's up. I wonder what's down. Really, really cool. So slightly different from zooming in or zooming out, because you can specifically just go one way. Pan left again, pan left again. Let's see what Midjourney have to say about it. Hi everyone, we're testing a new feature called pan today. Underneath your upscale, so when you upscale your photographs, you'll see the kind of backwards, left, right, up, down buttons. You click an arrow, it'll extend your image, whatever image you've created, it'll basically extend it in that direction. And if you click remix mode, you'll have the option to change your prompt to extend your image, and you can kind of almost tell panoramic stories. And there's been some really kind of incredible images that some people have created using this technique. As you pan out, your image will keep extending it, even though the resolution will become very large. Yes, that means you can keep panning multiple times. You just keep adding. How far can you go? Variations are not supported on panned images. If you zoom out on a panned image, its resolution will decrease back down to default size. You cannot pan both horizontally and vertically at the same time. You cannot control the amount you pan with each panning operation. You may see repetition as you pan. To avoid this, change your prompt as you go to include new details. So that's very interesting. So we go over to my art gallery. So here is an example, and we will do an example live, but here's something I was working on here just to sort of demonstrate it. I thought, okay, we'll have a close-up of a beautiful Japanese woman. Of course, it's always a beautiful Japanese woman looking out to sea, okay? Because then I wanted to pan, left or pan right to see what is she looking at. So we upscaled this image here, and then you see you've got the buttons down here. Pan left, pan right, up or down. So I panned left, and then you get this. So I upscaled that again. There you go. Upscaled the one I liked, and you're getting a bit more of what she's looking at. But I want more. What is she looking at? So again, as you can see, I panned left again. Now this time it introduced a new woman into the scene. Oh my gosh. 2 women. Wow. Now that's probably driven by the fact that the original prompt has beautiful woman, Japanese woman looking out to sea. So that it's just kind of repeated it. Like it said in those instructions, it's sort of repeated that element of it. So then I thought, well, I'll add remix here. So if you go into your settings, which is just / settings up here, you can see there. And then you can choose, there you've got these options, and I chose the remix mode here. Okay, so what that allows you to do is, as you can see down here, I'd opted for the remix mode in my settings. I thought, well, I want Mount Fuji in the background, so I put close up, a beautiful Japanese woman, traditional, so the same prompt as before, and I just added in Mount Fuji. And sure enough, there you go in the background, edge of it there, but here's Mount Fuji. So I upscaled the version I liked. So we're getting, this is like 21:9. This is like truly cinematic. This is like a kind of classic, traditional, super widescreen Japanese movie going on here. Loving it. Mount Fuji in the background. These two aren't getting on. They're both they're not looking. They're not giving eye contact there. Housewives of ancient Japan, yeah? Housewives of traditional Japan. They're just not getting on. But on this one, I decided to zoom out. Okay, so I'm done with the panning. Got a nice wide screen, but I thought, let's zoom out now. So that's what we did. And then what happens is you get back to this kind of sort of square image. So I selected this one here. But of course, you know, I want a thumbnail. So I want it 16:9. So I did the zoom out again, the custom zoom here. And then you ended up, of the pictures here, I ended up picking this one here as kind of nice, you know, it's added all this detail. It's a bit funky here. The roof, there's a roof, but no bits underneath it there. But this, you know, this whole kind of pagoda type roof and the sort of slatted windows here with the kind of paper. Very cinematic, nice sort of sea, Mount Fuji in the background there. A bokeh effect, well, close up, you know, focus. So out of focus at the front and then focusing on those two characters. What are they talking about? It's all communicated by, you know, non-verbal communication. So there you go, super easy. So let's do a live demonstration. How about, you know, a guy on a paddleboard on the sea, okay? Just straightforward, nothing fancy there. I've just gone for it. I've not put any fancy cinematography, black and white photographs or lenses or anything like that. We've just gone straight for guy on a paddleboard. Okay, I'm loving this. There's a bit of a sunset going on there. I like this. It's quite stylized, actually, this one. That's quite cool. I'm tempted. I like the top-down one view, but I also like this one. Let's explore. I'm going to go for the stylized one here. I'm going to actually go for both, and we'll explore. I want to know what is up from this guy, actually. This would be a good one, the one here from a top-down view, to see what's kind of above him in this one. They're all good, actually. I love the sunset on that one. Let's upscale number 4 and number 3. Looking good there. Loving his paddleboard, top-down shot. Let's see what's in front of him. So we just hit that arrow. Now I've got the remix on, so I'm not going to change anything now. Let's just submit that. We'll add a shark. Don't worry, we'll add the shark in later. Although there's not much space to fit the sharks, and he's fairly shallow water here. Meanwhile, let's do this one. We want to pan to the... He's looking at something over there, so let's pan right. I'm going to sharks with sharks in water, okay? Just to kind of add something to it. Now, I like the way that when it's creating, it continues to just create the next bit in the scene before it adds it, if you see what I mean. So it creates the square block and then it adds it in that long form. If we have a look here, now you can see it's repeated. It's put another paddle border in there. The sea's opening up a bit there. So this looks like the sort of almost the coral bit. And then the open sea. I remember being on an atoll in the Maldives. And it was a bit like that. And then it just drops off. Coral base here just drops off. It's like you're on top of a mountain in the sea. And then the deep blue sea here. Let's pan further. Let's just see what's occurring. I'm going to go for... I like this one because of the sea just drops off. So we're going to go upscale 2. Now, meanwhile, this has gone a bit funky. Let's have a look. You've got sharks in the air. Don't know what that is. That's gone well funky. What's with the dog? It's gone really random. Really random. But I'll tell you what, let's just pan. Let's upscale. This is really random. Not so good, Midjourney, on this one. What is that meant to be? Like, is it a shark? Is it a dog? Why are they flying up in the air? They're meant to be in the sea. Never mind. Let's just pan even further. I don't want to add anything. Let's actually... Near a boat. See what happens with that one. And this one, we're just going to extend as is. See if it repeats the guy on the paddleboard or just gives us more open sea. Now you can see what I'm saying. That it creates the block to the right, the picture to the right. And then when it's done that, it basically seams it together, adds it to the original picture. So you'll see what I mean in here. Look, he's added another person on the paddleboard with these flying sharks. Very strange. And this random dog thing that seems to be paddling. So at the moment it's in the square block, and then it's going to basically add it on to this main picture that we've got here. And the same here, it's creating the next block before it adds it to the final picture. So we're at 78% here fast. And then when it's ready, it'll add it 93. This will change to a much wider screen shot. There we go. And there you go. You've got these random flying sharks. Quite like this person sitting down here. Let's upscale this one. Meanwhile, paddleboard guy. You can see he's like far ahead in the distance there. No sign of a boat on that one. Oh no, I added a boat in the other one, didn't I? So we can just keep, you know. Yeah, so this had the description of near a boat. This is the guy on the boat. I was expecting more of a larger boat, if I'm going to be brutally honest. Let's just go. Actually, let's go to the left on this one. I'm not. Yeah, let's just see what it comes up. I'm not going to give it any more prompt. We're just going to the left on that one. Meanwhile, on this one, let's upscale. Which one do I like? I quite like this. It seems that they're going somewhere. But let's be a bit funky with this one. Upscale 4. Again, it's building the bit to the left, building out, creating the left block of this picture. And then we're going to have kind of huge widescreen picture. So we've upscaled that. Again, we could go down actually on this one. I'm not going to add anything there, like a submarine. We'll just see what's behind him. What sort of, you know, if there's another paddleboarder following him. More random flying sharks here. Very strange. Again, it's building the block beneath the original picture before it adds it on. And then we'll have a really long, tall picture when that one's done. Like this one, this is the wide one. They look like dogs. That looks like a dog. Anyway, I'm just going to upscale 1. And I think, you know, there we are. We're upscaling 1. Pretty good. What's that, you say? Again? You want me to pan again? Okay. Now, you see what I mean? You can't pan. Once you start getting into the pan mode left or right, you can't go up and down. So let's go even more. And I'm going to put in a pier. Just because I feel like they can't be that far away. They can't be that far offshore. Come on. We've added a pier to that one. Meanwhile, so we nearly finished the block on this one. And then we've got this. Look at this. Now, what is this? What's going on here? I'm curious now. Shall we explore? Or, I'll tell you what we can do. It's added in this randomness here. I mean, this is more realistic. Here. There's no rocks here. Let's explore. I'm going to upscale that one. Meanwhile, the guy's sitting on a flying shark. Very interesting when this one's finished. Oh, here we go. So let's have a look at this randomness here. We've panned out. I'm going to zoom out actually on this one. So I'm going to use the zoom out feature on this one. As you say, wow. Guy standing on the shark. It's meant to be a pier. It's like people on the pier, but instead of standing on a pier, they're actually standing on sharks. Very random. Which one should we upscale? What's he doing? Okay. Some blood there. I'm going this one, the top one. And then finally we'll see. So here we go. Look at that. We started off with just the guy on his paddleboard, if you remember. We started off with this, and we finished with this incredibly epic widescreen picture just by panning left, panning right, and then zooming out. Meanwhile, so because I zoomed out, it's gone and put it back into its original format. You've got the guys in the distance. So when I say original format, I mean it's sort of aspect ratio, just a square one. So I could make it, you know, again, we could finish that off. This weird blob here. Upscale the first one, and then we're going to custom zoom. I like my pictures. 16 by 9. Just zoom 1. Submit. Off you go. Okay. So this is our final 16 by 9 version. Pick one of those. Again, not this random blob. I never did work out what this random blob is here. Beautiful sunset going on there. Paddleboarding out to the distance. There's kind of some lava thing going on. Let's just upscale number 1, and then you'll see where we started. This is where we started. Man on his paddleboard. Just this square single shot. Then a bit of pan left, pan right. We ended up with this image here. Something here. I'm curious what this is. What's this? I'm curious now. I've zoomed out, zoomed in. So now it's restored the left-right arrows weren't there before. In fact, when you change it, because I did a zoom out, yeah, it resets it. So then you get those arrows. So now I could see what's left or right. But what I'm actually curious about is what's behind it. Okay, now, so because I've panned down, it's moved away from the 16 by 9 format. And now, look, the mystery has been solved. There's another paddleboard. This is is that just like a paddle? shaped thing. Anyway, they put an extra bloke in this one. That's what that weird thing sticking out, hello, is a long, long pan. And we've kind of can just start again and going left and right and all of those. And you could just go kind of for ages. I mean, if I upscale number one, I can zoom out. And if I zoom out, then I can go left or right. Or we could just stick with this and start again, panning up or panning down. Anyway, so there you go. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. Have a play with Midjourney if you haven't already played. Explore. There's some really interesting things people are doing. Some people are doing these pan shots and then taking it over to some video editing and then kind of creating a beautiful kind of pan. And they do really long, you know, where they've made lots and lots of shots, pan to the left. And you just create this kind of really weird and interesting panning journey, as it were. So anyway, if you have Midjourney, give it a go. It's extraordinary. I love these new updates. It's just so creative, so much fun, exploring the mysteries of what is to the left or what is to the right, etc. If you enjoyed this video, do me the massive favor of hitting those likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people just like you, clever people, to find beautiful content just like this. And if you are new here, arigato gozaimasu, I'd be most grateful if you would hit that subscribe button, because, you know, it helps my self-esteem, and toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content just like this. Oh yeah, talking of content just like this, why don't you check out my videos over here, these ones here, yeah, right here. Thank you.